And we'll just round the corners slightly. Oops, zoom a little bit here. My Alt key is next to my Windows key, as you do. So once again, can we get there? We can do it. There we go. All right, we'll round it off there. And we'll just pull in our shadows just before we move it on any further here. So we'll just add our little shadows here. Make that one gray darker. And I'll just move this to the side here. I'll duplicate this a couple times just so I can have this kind of hanging out here. The halfway point, I want to say, there we go. And then one more time, Alt, drag. And we'll just get select all three of these and get our shape builder tool and just one by one clip out the outside here. So Alt, click, Alt, click, Alt, click. So we have all that. And let's make our little rack, shall we say, to have them come together. So what I'll do is I'll just first off I'll make this little rectangle going across the top here, and have it kind of end maybe about this, not quite halfway through, a little bit further halfway through. I'll go from like the halfway point of this circle to the end of this circle, and the smart guides will help you. I'll make it a little bit skinnier, and I'll just kind of nudge this over slightly. Just so there's some, just so it should be kind of hovering, not quite over the center, but like almost over the center. And what we'll do first off, let me just real quick, I'm going to group this together. Wait, I'm going to group this right here. So I'm going to just go hover over this, Control G, and then I'll select this, Control G, and then Control G. So these are all groups now. I can click on either one of these things, it'll get both. So I just move that over. What we'll do is we'll just select all three of these, and we'll make sure that they are distributed evenly. So I'll align to the selection, I'll just distribute them evenly, right? So just so that now we know this right here is in the very center, and I'll just take this, and I will center these over the key object, and I'll make this little wheel here the key object, and I'll make sure it's centered, just so that's about right. That's even on both sides there. All right, so I'll just pull this up slightly, and I'll just, we don't need to put any shadow on this, because this is going to be really tiny, but I'll just make a silver little metal, kind of a rod to go between the wheel, just the little details like that make it nice. So I'll just center that right there, and I'll just hold down Alt, and I'll just drag this a copy over here, zoom in a little bit. Once again, even that out. Space bar, hold that down. You can drag it over, and once again like so. And we'll just get rid of this. So let me just bring this to the front. Actually, what we'll do is we'll select all three of these. Remember, you don't have to actually surround the object that you're selecting when you click and drag. You can just arrange, send to back. All right, you can just touch it with the selection. I'll round this off slightly here on both sides. Yeah, I wonder if I can round this edge here. Can I round this off? Nope, that's fine. All right, so with that done, what we'll do is we'll add a little kind of base for the sort of central spindle to come from. So I'm going to make a circle. Let me get this a little bit bigger here. I'll just make this little circle. My ellipse tool. I'll just hold down Shift from the center. Hold down Alt and Shift from the center just so it's centered. And I'll make it, say, about maybe 1/3 the size. And I'll just bring it down some, right about there, maybe here. It's up to you how kind of like pronounced you want to make this. And I'll just get my move tool here, and I'll select both and just shape builder this out. Oops, make sure we have select and Shift, and we'll just get the shape builder tool, and we'll just clip this out right there. All right, so that will, and we'll just join these together just by dragging across without pressing Alt. So now it's its own thing. And once again, I'll get my rectangle tool here. It's hidden beneath the ellipse tool, and we'll darken this up a little bit. And we'll just select this down here, and we'll have our shadow applied to our spindle. So as we go through this, we can make sure that we're kind of keeping consistent with our colors and stuff, right? So there's that. All right, so there we got that so far. Let's add another sort of metal kind of rod going up from the base here. In fact, I may want to even just, first off, I'll group this together. Rectangle tool here, or Control G here, and I'll get the rectangle tool, and I'll start from the center, like so. I'll hold on Alt and Shift to pull it out. Actually, I'll hold on Alt to kind of like make it grow from the center. All right, and I'll just change that. First of all, I'll get my eyedropper tool, and I'll just get get the same little color there. And I'll go ahead and add a shadow to this one as well. I'll go down one gray, like so. And just select both these, get my shape, oops, once again, shape tool. Control, well, Shift M is the shortcut for that. I'll Control G this, and I'll Control Shift, and then I'll hit the little square bracket on the left to push that to the back. All right, and so let's we'll create another little kind of base here for the shall we say seat upon which the chair will sit. So I'll just make this kind of there. And I'll round this off too. I'll make this the same color as everything else, the wheels and stuff. I'll make this a bit bigger. Hold on Alt and Shift. I'll just make this a bit bigger. And I'll get my eyedropper tool and just hit this, and I'll round the corners off slightly here. And what we'll do is we'll come in and once again get my little shadow applied to it. Again, the whole idea of flat design is using just real basic shapes to imply depth, and kind of stick around with that. We can put in some drop shadows, we can put in some various other things, but we don't want to get too terribly detailed. We want just simple shapes and stuff. All right, so as far as the office chair goes, this is kind of where we can do one of two things. We can have it sort of like facing completely away from us, and we just kind of put a little square there with some arms on it, but I think we can do a little bit better than that. I think what we can do is we can actually give it like some depth. So I'm going to get my square tool. I'm going to build this over here. I get my square tool, but I'm just going to make a little square back, and what we'll do is we will color this something. I'll make it sort of maybe a greenish color like this. And I'll make my pen tool here, and I'll just make a little path like this. Actually, what I'll do is I'll just get my tool like this, and I'll just kind of pop this up a little bit, just to kind of make it seem as if it's turned away from us. And then we'll just round the corners off slightly, and do the same thing over here. Actually, let me just undo what I just did, just so I have all of them at the same time. All right, and we'll pull this off to the side. And what we'll do is we'll add a another rectangle kind of on this side here. I'll start it right about there, and I'll put it this way, and I'll round these corners off as well. I'll make this a bit darker just to make sure I know what's what, and I'll round these corners off as well, and we'll just get this kind of popped out there. Let me see, shoot a little tool here, and I'll just Alt right there. Oops. How about this? Make sure that's the right color here. All right. Oh, first, there we go. Good. All right. Cool. And maybe we can come up here. We can get our direct selection tool and sort of drag these two bits. Just get them real close. I'll just drag these two bits towards the edge here to make it a bit more. Like. This up. Join these to the side. I'm missing one here. What about there? Might even just take this out. Let's try this. The shape builder tool here, and we'll just clip this out here. Alright, make sure. And once again, make sure they're the right color. Alright. Alright. That'll do for now. And we'll add another little shape to the top here. We'll use our pen tool for that. We'll just kind of start here and sort of add a little corner here, and just sort of connect them. First off, I'm making sure I have my pen tool here, not my curvature pen. And we'll just go from here to about here, and just kind of curve that out a little bit. And let's see if we can't pop that in, like so. And I'll get my fill, and I'll make it slightly darker as well, maybe even a bit lighter. First off, let me just get this. I'll just pull the brightness down some, or the saturation down some. All right, and I'll get my direct selection tool here, and I will bend this back around so it's more in line with the shape below it. Here, and we'll just Control Shift left. Yeah. All right. So there's that. Okay. Cool. And so we'll do the same for the cushion below. First off, let me just grab this over here with the direct selection tool, and I'll just pull these two up a little bit. Make it more of a feel there. Same thing right here. Let me just get it close and grab this one and pull that down some. All right. So let me just group these together real quick. Control G, move to the side, and we'll make another one. We'll kind of keep these same colors consistent. So we've got on the top it's light, on the side it's a little bit darker, on the back it's a little bit lighter, and we'll see if we can't add the cushion, below it here, and we'll just grab our rectangle tool here and just kind of draw from the side, like so. We'll round this off a little bit. And we don't want a whole lot showing from this side, so we'll just rotate this slightly. Well, actually what I'll do is I'll just I'll grab this side here, and I'll just pull this up a little bit. And I'll just tuck this in here. I'll make sure it's kind of even with the curve we applied earlier. So, or the incline, shall we say? Right there. And I'm gonna even put this in some. Just gonna give it a bit of a look there, and we'll just do the same thing with a pen tool. We'll just start over here, and we'll just combine it from here, here. Oops. Start with the pen tool here, here, curve it a little bit. Put it together here. Color it. My eyedropper tool, and then Control Shift. Right. Okay. So we have our little office chair seat here. And we can add some arms to it. So what I'll do is I will put a circle here. I'll put a little ellipse. I'll make 2 ellipses here. Well, yeah, I'll make 2 ellipses. Let me just get my ellipse tool. And I'm going to start off with just with nothing on there. I'll have no fill for now. And I'll just have a stroke of like black for just a second. And I'll just make 2 ellipses here. Pull this one out just slightly. On Alt to just drag it out a little bit. Alt, rather, not Control. Like so. I'll come in close, and I'll get my pen tool, and I'll kind of click on these right here, just to create a little straight edge between the two. Okay. And what we'll do is we'll just select all these, and we'll get my shape builder tool here, and we'll just Alt and select the line itself to kind of get rid of that, and I'll get in close here as well. Click on this line. Click on this line as well. Kind of clear that up. All right, and then we'll just take this shape here, and we'll fill it with. Let's fill it with that first gray we had. Let's say it's this one here. Oops. First off, we'll get rid of the stroke, and we'll click off of them. Click off this, and let's look here. In order to get this, I see we need to make a little rectangle here. It looks like. So let's make a little rectangle from here. To here. Those little lines we made earlier were a little bit unnecessary. That's okay. And so let's bring this to the front, arrange, bring forward, and we'll make this a bit more shadowed. Try it again, arrange, bring to front. There we go. And we'll just group all this together. Control D, Control G. And we'll just bring this, kind of put this right here, and we'll add a little arm coming from it. Right there, so, and we'll add a little arm by making a little rectangle and doing the same thing we did before. Grabbing this and with using the direct selection tool, kind of moving it up and over. Trying to make it even with the curve we had before. I can just sort of line this up. Just make sure it's even here. So again, making sure it's even with this incline here, and we'll just curve this down a little bit. And we'll pull this right here, and we'll just put it behind, transform or arrange, send backwards. And we'll add another, we'll use our pen tool here just to kind of combine this. So I'll just put this right here, and I'll see if I can kind of just about, kind of mimic the, right there. And I'll color this a little bit lighter. I'll color it lighter than the two things there, and once again we'll just right-click on it, arrange, and then send it back. Well, not send it back, but send it backwards. And it looks about right. I will see if I can't curve this back a little bit here. Let me just undo what I just did, and I'll just click on this one by itself and pull that down slightly. Once again, right-click on it, range, send backwards. Right, looks good. I might even pull this one down some, down slightly. That's fine. All right, so that's our little arm, and we can just group this entire thing, and we'll just sort of pull this right about here, and maybe even. First off, let's group this whole thing here. Control G, and if I wanted to maybe shift the perspective slightly, what I could do is I could just select, everything here, and even just like with my direct selection tool, and just press the up button slightly, which will kind of bring it up a little bit, and we'll just once again, hello. Is this grouped? This is grouped, yeah. Lay it right, maybe there or so. All right, and so that's our little office chair, and we will kind of keep that. We'll group that together as well, and I'll just center this here. So let's line this to the artboard. Put it right in the center. All right, so that's our little office. Okay, so now once we have our chair done, right? We want to make sure we have all three of our images selected, or open rather, right? So we want to have all three of these open. Let's go to File, New, and you can here choose what your next step is going to be. If you want to choose like an Android or a website, it's up to you, right? I might just choose just like the background for a computer here. So first, before I do anything, I'm going to put a little background here. You can put in a gradient, you can put a solid color. I'll put in a solid color. I'll put in just like kind of a neutral sort of blue color here. So I'll get my properties. I'll just fill it with something like this, and so this looks like. Maybe I do. So we'll just go to our, first off, I'm going to go to my desk and lamp. I'm just going to select both of these like this, and I'm just going to go Edit, Copy, and I'll go over here to this, and I'll go to Edit, Paste, in front. Just paste. And I can resize this, just hold down Shift to make sure you constrain the proportions, and just figure out where you want to place it, here, and right, that's good. Okay, and then we'll go to our clock and plant. I'm going to grab my clock, Control C, go here, Control V, and I'll just place my clock maybe somewhere up here, like so. It's probably a good size. I'll get my plant. I'll grab this, Control C, go over here, Control V, and if you want to make it bigger, to put it on the side, you can, like so. Just make sure it's kind of lined up with the base of your desk here, down here maybe. How's this working? All right, that looks good right there. Okay, good. And then if you want to grab your chair, we'll just go over here to our chair, and we can just once again select all this, Control C, go over here, Control V, and we'll just resize the chair. We place it a little bit in front, maybe a little bit like this, and we'll just make that just about big enough to fit. Make sure it's big enough to fit underneath the chair here, or the desk rather. And if you wanted to, you could like put it off to the side or something, you know, just to kind of put it off there. But so you can see all that. But here we go. Here's our little desk, our little writing desk scenario here. And let's just kind of gather everything together. I'll just select everything. Oops, did I move? I'll do the stroke too. Do the stroke, and I'll just select everything. And I'll hold down Shift and deselect the block there, and I'll just Control G, group all that together, and I'll just make sure it's aligned to the artboard here in the center, and in the center like that. And from here, what we want, if we want, what we could do is we could, for instance, I can just like cut this out. It's just like edit, cut, and then on a new layer below, pull this down here and just Control V, paste it back. And then what we could do is even make a new layer here, and we could even just add some little shadows here and there. I could just grab my ellipse tool, and I could just make it sort of gray here, or maybe even a little darker gray, and just go from like thing to thing, and just create a couple of little shadows beneath everything. Just kind of give it a little bit of depth here, kind of like so. Almost, right? And if you wanted to, you could just kind of rearrange them here. And yeah, so there's that. So there's your maybe make this a little lighter here. Good. Right. So there's your office little scenario that you made piecemeal, and you kind of put together, and it fits in real nice. A real nice little minimalist office scenario. Very cool. All right, save that as a .ai file, and then export it as a PNG. So the office, bellow. Save this. Then we'll go to and we'll go to File, Export as, and we'll call it a PNG here. Very cool. Well, can't wait to see you guys produce.